This is Dr. B, aka Merciless, and we're down here in Southern California with some special guests, including the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club. It's been a long weekend of podcasting, and it's been a good one, though. And we have another great show for you all. Again, we have members of the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club, but we also have an additional guest as well. And we're going to let you talk a little bit about, what you represent and whatever else that you can bring to the show as well. The whole point of the Seven Generation podcast is to tell good stories and bring to our listeners the best content possible. So let's start with the Pacific Savages Motorcycle Club. Let's kind of go around here, and then we'll end with the introduction over here as well.
What's going on? My name is Rod from the Nokohama tribe of the Pacific Savages here in SoCal. I joined the club because I wanted to ride. And the appeal for the club was that I got to ride with my people. The concept of sharing our culture with everybody else it's rewarded me in a lot of ways, just simply because I get to represent our culture in better ways than that's depicted in TV or media across, big challenge for us since the beginning of time. And now people get to meet us straight up who we are.
Wonderful. Doughboy.
How you doing? Doughboy, Nokohama Tribe, San Diego, Pacific Savages. Like everything Rod said, why I joined the club, but also we're given an opportunity to be, I guess, a voice and a vessel within our community, using motorcycles as just that, spreading the word and letting people know that, we're not, like you said, we're not like on TV. We're good people. We just want to spread the aloha and have a good time.
Wonderful. All right. And our last guest, that we're in your spot right now. Why don't you tell us a little bit about where we're at and the work that you do here?
Good afternoon. My name is Antoine Howard. I'm a financial broker here. We're in Bonita, California. In my office, I run a financial brokerage for World Financial Group. My company's name is Team Faith Leadership Development, and we specialize in educating families and friends about financial literacy, financial education through different types of insurance. Just want to make sure that everyone's properly protected. And since I ride like these guys in my own MC, Above Average San Diego, we like to make sure that if and when something does happen, one, your money's protected, but not only that, you're protected as well through insurance, so that we can make sure that when you leave this earth and you go behind up to heaven or where you're going to go, that your family's protected also. So that's been one of my main missions. And I've been a financial broker for 13 years now in San Diego. And that's been my passion and my ministry, to make sure that I can make sure that everyone I ride with is properly protected and their family's protected at the same time. Because I think that's the big thing about family. We want to make sure that we're all together when something does happen, especially on these bikes, that we can make sure that we leave this place and we leave our family protected as well. And that's why I'm glad to be here at my office. But I'm gonna put another hat on. One of my other hat is that I'm a Goodwill ambassador for Attorney King Amanpour, which is the #1 car and motorcycle personal injury in all of San Diego. And it's been an honor to be working with him for the past 5 years, going on 6, because I also ride in my clubs, and we have a lot of big riding population in San Diego, and it's important for them to understand how to properly use their car and motorcycle insurance when it does happen. You get an injury, that you know who to call, the King. 619-333-3333. But at the same time, you know that we're going to take care of you like family. That's like we say, this is the family that we have here with a lot of the clubs, Pacific Savages, Above Average, San Diego, that in Attorney King to be a proud sponsor and a partnership with him also. And it's good to have the legal aid on your side. So when something does happen, you know to call the King, and we're going to be right there in the hospital, at home, wherever we need to come to make sure that we can take care of you. We're going to take care of you. And that's been a big passion of my own, to make sure that when it does happen, that we're there. And that's kind of why, he represents the motorcycle world in San Diego, and he has a big heart for us also, because when it does happen, it's scary because you don't know what to do, who to call.
100%. Yeah. And we want to, obviously thank you for allowing us to be here today, to be able to do our show. And welcome to the show.
Yeah, welcome. It's honor. It's honor.
Absolutely. So let's kind of get back to the Pacific Sovereignty Run right here. This is taking place on June 17th, Saturday. We are 6 days away, and a lot has gone into planning this event. Starts at 12 noon. It's at the Elks Lodge, 7212 Melrose Street, Buena Park, California. There's going to be a bike blessing, kava ceremony, MC war games. It's a free event. It's a cultural event, all kinds of live performances. I mean, we're talking about a lot of different cultures, a lot of different organizations coming together to put this event on June 17th. So, can you tell us why the Pacific Sovereignty Run is so important? What can you tell us about it in your own words? And how can we get more people to come on out and join us?
Well, I mean, the way I see it, the Pacific Sovereignty Run is an opportunity for the Pacific Islanders on twos to get together. One of the biggest things that I've seen that came out of this run is while we are all from different clubs, I mean, we all come from same islands, you know, people from Hawaii, people from Samoa, Philippines, and for the longest time, people were separated, right? And it wasn't because people forced us to, just people never got the opportunity to unite. And this is one of the great opportunities for us to get together, break bread. The kava ceremony is super important, and it'll show the world that, you know, we're out there. We're not here to take anything over. We're here to ride where we stand, and we want to be around our people. We want our people to have that opportunity to do the same for themselves as well.
Absolutely. And it really is a chance for us to showcase the best of our cultures, right? And even though it's a motorcycle club event in the sense that different clubs have helped sponsor it, it really is a community event. And it's really an event where you can bring your family out. There's a little something for everybody, a lot of great food, a lot of great raffle prizes, obviously live performances. I mean, this is something that's for the entire community.
Absolutely. I think our last one of my best memories from there was just watching the little kids run around. I mean, and they were having fun with all type. They had toys they were playing with, they had games they were playing with, but I mean, all the way into the night, these kids were running around, throwing bottles and running around and chasing everywhere. And it was kids from all different clubs that were there. I mean, I saw kids from section 8, kids from our club that were just out running, playing along. And to me, that was great, man, because I didn't grow up like that, right? I grew up in a very sheltered way where it was like my people were my people and that was it. And it wasn't until like coming around the Savages where I started realizing that, you know, when we unite, we're huge and it's a lot more fun.
Yeah, and that's a big part of the PSR as well. I mean, the word sovereignty is important. That we chose that word because it meant, you know, the ability to have our own lane. All of us coming together, whether or not it was the Pacific Savages or it was Section 8 or whatever club wanted to be involved in this, it was a chance for us to, you know, be out on our own, have our own lane, and be able to demonstrate the best of our cultures.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, um, I remember before I ever joined a motorcycle club, I never wanted to get in one because I didn't understand any of the concepts behind it, and everybody that ever offered me or asked me to come around just wasn't my flavor. It didn't appeal to me. It wasn't until I ran into the Pacific Savages through someone I grew up with, and talked to him about it. And realistically, I looked at the website and everything they said was everything that I wanted to be about. I mean, just the fact that, you know, we respect everybody, but we adhere to our own bylaws and we're going to do our own thing. And to me, that's like perfect.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a big part of, you know, the Pacific Savage get down, right? Is that, you know, you're going to obviously show respect to everybody, you know, but at the same time, we want to be respected as well, respected for our cultures, respected for our life ways, and we want to be able to do our own thing and really to be free to have our own lane and to not have somebody else be telling us, you know, how we're supposed to be living our lives. And you know, that was a big draw for me for the Pacific Savages as well. And you know, I always tell people, if you come into our organization, you're definitely going to be coming into an entity that takes care of its own. And you know, I really believe in that part of our mission. And I think that these events right here are definitely a reflection of that. Again, it's a vision from our Indigenous brothers on two wheels. We're obviously about, you know, riding motorcycles. It's about the passion for the ride, most definitely. But the big component to it is the culture. So just kind of tell us why is, you know, what is it about our cultures that you think are important to be able to share and to continue to share with our children and the generations coming forward?
For me, it's the struggle and watching everybody come. I mean, like, you know, the way I see it is Filipinos aren't just nurses, and Samoans and Hawaiians aren't just football players. We have professionals, we have long-term students, and we have our share of dudes that mess up. But at the same time, we are also fathers. We're mechanics. We're in the military. We're engulfed and embedded into the community, and rarely do people ever acknowledge us as that, right? Like, and I mean, I've been watching the media stream since I was a kid, and for the longest time, Asians were always just good at math, or Islanders were just that barefoot guy that was cooking with the tattoos on their face. Never did they ever depict somebody as someone who was a businessman, who was successful, who was, loving or a big part of their community. And that is really what the island culture is. We use the word tribe because that's what we are. It's not just about being successful for ourselves. If you look at the average Islander community or the average Islander family, those families take care of not just themselves, but their brothers, their little sisters, their mothers. They go on for generations taking care of each other. And to me, that's embracing that part right there is everything the Savages do. Like we take care of each other. And like you'll see these guys when we come to the PSR, all of us are having fun, even if they're not from the Pacific Savage Section 8. They're out there having a good time. I've sit there, shook hands with them. I've seen, that's what it's all about. And I know those guys. Some of those guys are tattoo artists. Some of those guys are business professionals. And that's what I love seeing. I love seeing that my culture is rising up in our communities and in the society for more than just what we were depicted as. And it comes from a long-standing history. I mean, the Filipino migrant workers, everybody knows about the Hispanic history when it comes to migrant workers. Rarely do you walk up to somebody, well, they know about the Filipino migrant workers that actually started those things, right? It started the organizations and started getting all those migrant workers to unite and get together and build something stronger. To know that that's the history that the Filipinos come from here in California. We started as migrant workers, and now we're in 50% of the hospitals, like some of these lawyers, some of these, the military. I mean, we are deep into the community.
Yeah.
With that.
And, there's a diversity in occupations. And, one thing I do love about the club is that we have so many people from so many different backgrounds in terms of what we do professionally, right? We have college professors, we have people who are in medicine, we have people who are mechanics. I mean, everything under the sun, people who have, a long history of military service. When you become a member of our organization, you're going to meet a lot of people from a lot of different backgrounds. And it really does break down the stereotypes of what people have for us as Indigenous people, whether it's be Filipinos or Pacific Islanders or Native Americans. And it's a chance for us to be able to share, obviously, with one another, but also share with our communities and show people a different side of what it means to be an Asian or Pacific Islander.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Doughboy, you're over here quiet, man. You're letting your brother just carry the load over here. What's going on, man?
We got an active duty Navy guy right here.
We got an active duty Navy guy. Let's talk about that.
Well, Roderick said a lot. So, because I get to ask that question a lot, right? When I first joined this club, first came like, why the Pacific Savages? Why you want to join the club and everything like that? And I really had a hard time trying to put words to it, because when I first came around, it's one of those things I just kind of felt, right? It just felt right. Us Indigenous people, Asian Islanders, Native American, a lot of it's spiritual, right? And it just makes sense. So, for example, I have two guys, Tito and Mario, right? I've known them for 20 years. We're a separate group of friends. So when I first started coming around the club, them and other people asked me, like, why do you want to join a club? Like, you already have brothers. We know each other for 20 years. And I tell them, I was like, I can't explain it. You just feel it. Just know that this is where you belong. This is what you have to do. And then a couple years later, they got on their motorcycles. They got motorcycles. They rode with us, hung out with us a couple times. And then they each gave me a call separate times. Like, hey, I want to talk to you. I want to start my journey. I know what you're talking about now. I just can't explain it, but I know I have to be here.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, I feel like it is kind of hard to explain to other people, because people ask me all the time, like, well, what do you get out of this? Why do you want to be a part of a motorcycle club. I mean, I think there's a lot of misconceptions about, what we do, but I think what's unique and special about the PSR and the Pacific Savages, again, is that I think we're given an opportunity first and foremost to be who we are, right, and to be able to share with other people, not just people who are like us, but other people who are similar in a way, like whether or not, I get to have, a bunch of Filipino friends and people who are native Hawaiians. Right. And that, I mean, I feel like it enhances my life. It broadens my perspective as well. And I get to be around like-minded people, and we all get to share in that same passion and love for motorcycles. And being a part of this is really exciting. It adds a little bit of adventure to your life, and there's politics that comes with it. But I feel like our organization has done a really good job of pushing this movement of being able to be free, doing our own things on two wheels, but most importantly, this idea of being able to grow our organization in a way that's reflective of our value system. Yeah.
Yeah, I get that 100% because the good thing about it, I mean, we all share similarities in culture also, but when you meet different people from different backgrounds, you get to learn a little bit about them and help add to your character, your moral compass, right? Take what's good and then carry on from there and continue spreading that around the people. And you can kind of choose who, you want to be around and share this with, because you're taking that from other folks.
Absolutely. And you've been on the motorcycle club set for like 10 years. We were talking earlier. Can you tell us a little bit about your motorcycle club and the set that you are a part of here in the San Diego area?
Yeah, I've been on the set about 10 years now. I'm with Above Average MC right now out of San Diego, and I'm the business manager for that club, and then I also sit on the council of the board too as the enforcer for you would say the black set, but I'm a part of all the set of Auto San Diego. I have friends and family from the Hispanic set to the Islander set to the white set, however you want to call it. At the end of the day, I look at it as family because, like I said, me being Apache Indian, part of Hawaiian and all that, I feel a vibe when I was always with the Savages. You always feel at home, you feel that love, and I think that's huge. Even with my club, my club, we have blacks, Hispanic, white, we got it, the whole rainbow. And like I said, it's about a brotherhood, and like we talked about earlier, you just feel that passion, you feel that movement. Like you said, you can't explain it, but you can call your brothers when you need them.
Yeah.
And I think that's big with a lot of men, because a lot of times it's hard to share that passion that you have with men. But when you find the right group of men and you can find that passion and bounce that energy out, and you can call your brother when you need him, and then we can hop on these bikes and hit the road and just drive. I mean, I don't know other people, but when I get on my bike, either the Harley or my Busa, I just feel freedom. And then when I'm riding with my brothers, it's different. When you're riding one, then you got two, then you got three, then you got a pack going down that freeway. You feel invincible. And that relief from that day to day. And I think that's what this motorcycle thing is, if that's what you want to call it. You know what I mean? To be on twos with your brothers, knowing that they got your back, and being a part of the San Diego set is the same feeling. I like the fact that I'm able to fellowship with any and everybody, because like you said, you get a different vibe from everybody and you get to experience the culture in a different way.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think that, every single set has its own unique value system. But at the end of the day, we all love one thing, right? We love to ride.
Yes, yeah.
we love motorcycles, and we love to be on two wheels. And that's that common denominator. Like wherever you go, it doesn't matter. Like you see somebody on two wheels, or you see a bike that you like, you automatically have a new friend, right? Somebody you can talk to about motorcycles. And I think that's what's really cool about the culture, the MC culture, and just motorcycle culture in general, is that, man, it's just like it's just something that you can share with people from a background that may be similar to you, but maybe not as similar to you as well. And so you can make friends from with people who come from maybe a side of town that you're unfamiliar with, or a culture that you're unfamiliar with. Yeah,
that's huge. I mean, I always think about when I'm riding on one lane and I see another bike coming on a different lane, and when you throw those twos down, to me, I don't know, when I'm riding, I don't care if you're on a scooter, a Ruckus, a Grom, a street bike or Harley, to me, you just being on twos crossing me, it does something for me. To see that guy, be safe out there, keep the rubber down and all that. I think that's like that unseen communication that we have on bikes, that passion that I don't. It doesn't matter
Yeah.
what you're on. The minute I see you get off something, we always have a conversation, and I think that's something that, like I said, we talk about as the brotherhood, the twos, the riding, that culture, that riding culture that says a lot to people, and I think it can bring a lot of us together at the same time. Because I know if I break down on the side of the road, I'm on a bike and I see somebody else, I'm stopping. You good? You okay? You all right? You need help? Anything like that? And I think that goes across the board with anybody in this room right here, that we would do that for anybody, any club, if we can get over there, stop and make sure you're good. And I think that's part of the culture that they don't talk about, and part of the community aspect, that we get together and we do a lot of give backs to the community, back to school events, toy drives, Thanksgiving drives, turkey drives. I mean, I don't think clubs or MCs get enough credit for what they really do, even though they don't publicize it. And that's why I love doing with the Savages, because they're always giving back. Like we're collecting donations for the Guam event. The storm that out there that knocked a lot of power and everything out. Just right now we had another clubs of Rough Riders stop in, drop off some stuff that needed to be donated. So by Friday, when we collect enough, we're going to ship it out. And that's the partnership that the MC world saw the need, saw the flyer, and you got clubs that want to come in and pitch in. How can I help? What can I do? And that's part of the MC culture, part of all the sets. And I think a lot of that doesn't get seen, to the public, but it's out there. And I think that's why these podcasts, these clubs are so important, so people can understand that the motorcycle road ain't just what they see on TV.
Yeah, such a good point. I mean, there's a lot of misconceptions about motorcycle clubs, and a lot of it has to do with the media, obviously. But maybe you guys can talk a little bit more about the Pacific Savages MC. If you were going to explain, say, the motorcycle club to somebody who's unfamiliar with MC culture, how would you explain the organization? And what can you tell us that would be something interesting that you think our listeners would be interested in knowing?
So in my eyes, like I think some mentioned it earlier when he was talking about, he had some friends that asked him why, you have a set of friends. And the honest truth is you're right. I do, like for me, I do have friends. I have family members. I have cousins and brothers who are by by force. They're my brothers, they're my cousins, they're my relatives. I have friends who I've known for years and years and years. And, through that time, we've built these bonds. In this motorcycle club, I think what gets me the most is every time I see someone wearing the same patch as me, I understand the journey and what it took to earn that. And it's a commitment. It's not like this isn't something you just buy into. This isn't something you just show up to, right? It's a commitment. The person who wears this patch understands that commitment. For me, that camaraderie that builds is like no other. Right, because this is a choice. Like no one put a gun to my head and said, "Hey, join the motorcycle club." No one, it wasn't one of those things. Like it's a daily commitment that you make to be part of this club. And when I'm with brothers who have made that same commitment, it's a feeling that doesn't match anything else. And it's really hard. Like Doughboy here said to put it in words, but that is one of the biggest things about being part of the motorcycle club is not only am I riding on twos, but I fed the table just like everybody else did. So now I got the seat.
Yeah, that's such a good point. I mean, I always tell people, and I'm glad you brought that up, because that's a big part of the way that we do things in our organization, is that you really have to earn your way in. You're not given anything in the Pacific Savages MC. And I always tell people this is not for everybody, because some people don't want to put in the hard work. They think, well, all I need is a motorcycle. I buy me a vest, I'm good to go, right? And I'm like, nah. You're gonna have to spend quite a few months, in some cases over a year, maybe longer, earning your way into the club. And I think you'd said it best: to sit at the table, you have to serve the table. And I think it's a great way to kind of weed people out who aren't as committed, because you have to earn your patch, and then once you get it, you have to continue to earn it every single day. which means that you have to be committed. And that's what I love about our club is I know that everybody who's here, like you said, that person had to earn their way here, and that person has some level of commitment. And I think that's what is pretty cool about our organization is we're not just going to give these, these colors away to anybody. You really do have to work your way through the process. And when you do, it's those milestones are really beautiful and amazing. And then you have to continue to work more, right? To continue to earn it every day. And I think that there's a lot of the ideas that, oh, you just, you hop on a motorcycle and you're good to go. Like we have very specific things we have to do with our riding. You have to learn how to become a better rider. I mean, there's a lot to it. Like, what do you think, Doughboy? What do you want to add to that?
So, the best way I was able to explain it before, I asked a friend, right? Hey, would you risk your life to go get tacos with me? I'm like, no, why? Well, these guys we all know riding motorcycles is dangerous, right? The minute you walk out that door, that could be the last time you say, bye to your family or say hi to them, right? So I explained to other people, these guys risk their lives every day. Just come get coffee with me or go hang out with me or go ride with me, right? Because anything could happen, right? Either whether it's our fault or driver's fault, So that's how, like I said, I best explained it. These guys risk their health and life to come hang out with me, go get some coffee, get some tacos, right? So that's, like I said, the closest way to words I can imagine or I can describe about being part of this club and being part of this motorcycle community.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, let's promote the PSR a little bit here. So obviously this is a big event. If you were to talk to people who are in the motorcycle club community or just the general public, what's a really good selling point to get people to come out to the PSR?
The food.
Oh yeah, it's got to.
I mean, you sell anyone on the food.
We're gonna have. Puna was going down the list of food vendors. We're gonna have some really good food, no doubt. Yeah. So the food is definitely going to be off the hook.
I mean, like I said earlier, right? Like you've seen the Pacific Island community and the Pacific Island Asian community. I mean, by themselves, they have a really great time. When you see all of them get together and everybody's breaking bread, sharing laughs, sharing stories, it's really a magical moment. Like there's nothing that's going to be like that because I mean, this has nothing to do with anything else but sharing the culture with each other. And it's great because like I'm Filipino, right? And like I'm huge in the kava ceremony. I stopped drinking a long time ago. Kava was one of the only things that I ever drank, and it wasn't until I met more Polynesians who drank kava on a regular or who drank it ceremonially that I got to learn about it, right? For the longest time I was drinking kava just because it was a substitute for my alcohol. And it was a great way just to hang out. But then once I started learning the history behind it and understanding the meaning behind it, and it opened my eyes in a big way. And that would have never happened if I was not hanging out with other cultures within the Pacific Island community.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we learn a lot about our respective communities. And I think that's what's really cool about our organization is we have a lot of groups that have come into this. Filipinos, Native Hawaiians, Tongans, Samoans, Chamorros, I mean, Native Americans, right? I mean, you name it. There's a place for you in the Pacific Savages. Yeah. Yeah. And you're right. When we get together, I think that's a great selling point. We definitely do have a good time. It's a lot of fun. And I'm telling you, people who are listening to this, if you're in the SoCal area, San Diego, or, doesn't matter. If you're in the Bay Area and you want to spend the weekend in SoCal, come on down to the PSR. I'm telling you, you're going to come away from this event with a lot of really good vibes. Again, there's something for everybody. You don't have to ride a motorcycle. It's pretty cool. If you do ride a motorcycle, definitely come to the bike blessing. But this is family friendly. You can bring your kids out. There's going to be raffle prizes, a lot of good food, live performances. It's a free event as well. So if you just want to come out, eat some food, hang out with your family, you can do that. If you want to ride out there like I will be doing all the way from Central California. That's obviously it's open. It's open to all clubs and to, people who are cool, right? We only want cool people though.
Yeah,
so
no drama.
No drama. Yeah, this is definitely a no drama event. I mean, again, it's family affair. It's about representing the best of our culture. So anything you want to add to that, Doughboy, in terms of the PSR? Because I know you've attended 2 of them, right?
Yes.
So we've had two previous PSRs. This is the second one, the second annual in Southern California. So what's a good selling point for the PSR?
Really just, I mean, everything mentioned before, but really come experience our hospitality. You know,
Yes.
when, as I mentioned before, people have this stigma. Yes, we are Asian Islanders, Native Americans, indigenous people on motorcycles. They think Sons of Anarchy, right? You can go over there and then someone gets stabbed. No, when you come to PSR, you're going to see people from different islands, different countries, everything. I mean, like we say, the Pacific doesn't divide us, it unites us. So this is where we can come together, and you're going to get and experience a little different piece of our culture just for those couple hours. And then you're going to feel the hospitality, right? There's no one's going to mad dog you. No one's going to try to hurt you. You know, if anything, you probably get irritated because, hey, try that, eat that. You ever had this before? You know, just come see it for yourself.
Yeah, that's a really, really good point. And you know, the Asian Pacific Islander community really isn't that big, but there's a lot of y'all on 2 wheels, right? I mean, you know, I feel like there is this passion for riding motorcycles. So where does that come from for you all? Like, you know, why is it that you guys like to be on 2s?
Me personally, so a little background was I never rode motorcycles before, right? I never have. It was when I came to this group and I felt what I felt. I was like, I need to be part of this, because they were everyone was welcoming, everyone was real friendly, but then there's still that there's things I wasn't privy to, right? So to get into that, I had to be a part of that. So that was the big thing for me, was if I had to be part of that, to be in that inn, right, I had to get a motorcycle. So I said, I'm gonna get a damn motorcycle, right? I'm gonna be part of this. And then like I said, that was a really big thing for me. I needed to be part of this. I don't know what it was, but I just had to. And thankfully my wife said okay.
Hey, you got to have support from the family, right? Because this is a commitment, obviously, and you'd mentioned it's also very dangerous too. I mean, every time you're out on 2 wheels, you know, you got to make sure to, you know, hug your family, tell them you love them, and make sure that, you know, when you leave your brothers in a good way, because, you know, we all know we've lost brothers in the Savages, and you know, it's a dangerous thing that we do. But obviously you felt this calling for this, and which kind of shows you how powerful the organization is. And I kind of get that I had the same feeling as well. There was something about Pacific Savages that I really wanted to be a part of. So what about yourself? What is it about 2 wheels that you can tell, you know, others that, you know, may not ride, may not understand, you know, why people are so adamant about being on their bikes?
So I honestly, I hate people. Right. And I'm telling the truth. So my military time left me with some mental health deficits that caused me to really hate people. And at one point along my journey, I decided to buy a motorcycle because it was the only way I knew that I can travel by myself. And in that journey of getting my own motorcycle and starting to ride around, that's, like I said, people were asking me to, you know, come around their clubs and stuff like that. And I was like, I did this to be by myself. The honest truth is, though, when I met the Savages, the Pacific Savages showed me that, like, I mean, it was a part of healing for myself, because riding my motorcycle, the term 2-wheel therapy, it means a lot to me, right? And when I met the Pacific Savages, I didn't hate people so much. You know what I mean? I finally found where I belonged. I got to be me. Everything just fit right, and then that's why I have such a passion to ride with the Savages, because there's nothing, it doesn't. I can't even describe how it feels like to ride with him, going up north, or to meet up with someone in Las Vegas or anywhere else and just go riding around. It's a therapy like no other. You know, I started it thinking that it was going to be my own personal therapy, and then learned somewhere down the way that, you know, riding with my brothers is my Usos means a whole lot more.
Yeah, I mean, you know, what's nice about being on 2 wheels is, you know, you can put your phone away too, and, you know, if you're on 2 wheels, you can tell anybody who's been trying to get a hold of you, hey, I'm on 2 wheels. I can't, you know, I can't pick up when I'm on my bike. And that is a nice part of being on your bike, is that it's a chance just to escape And because I feel like I can kind of relate to what you're saying. Like for me, you know, being on two wheels is just a chance just to be away from everybody, just to be away from people in general. And even when you're with your brothers, even though we're together, if we're going on a long ride, it's not like we're communicating with like hand signals and stuff like that, right? When we need to stop, when someone has to use the restroom. But, you know, we could all be in concert with one another, but we're not having a conversation. You can still kind of be in your own little mental space and kind of work out the things that you need to work out. And going on those long rides as well, it's a big part of I think what we do as Pacific Savages. You have to ride. You have to want to ride. You can't just have a bike. I mean, you have to be on that bike. And I can't remember what podcast I was doing yesterday, which one. I've done quite a few this weekend, but I think I was talking about like the first 13 months, I put over 20,000 miles on my bike, you know, and I was really proud of that. I was like, dang, man, I felt really good. And I had all those memories that you make when you're on the road with your brothers, the funny moments, the, you know, the irritating, irritating moments. I mean, there's just like I can't express like the good memories that you make with people. And there is something therapeutic about it. You know, for me, it's hard to put into words. But I think you said it perfectly. Like there's just a lot that you can get from being on two wheels. But then when you're with your brothers that are like-minded and you're just out having a good time, there is a healing aspect of that as well. So anything you want to add to that?
Um, for me also, Roger touched on it for therapeutic purposes, right? So for me, when I ride, it's a sense of closure, right? So I had a daughter that passed in 2017. So with that, when I ride and I ride with my Usos, it's my way of her meeting her uncles and me flying with her, right? So like say it's a sense of closure for myself. It's very, very deep and very personal, right? So my tribe knows that, my Uzos know that, they know that I dedicate my whole journey to her, right? So if I'm because what she could have done, I'm doing what the whole woulda should have could have, right? So what she was unable to do because she passed in such a young age, everything that I'm thinking in my head like, should I do this? Like I'm gonna do it because I'm doing it for her.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I want you to get in on the conversation here. And so what is it, you know, how long you've been writing and, you know, what drew you to the motorcycle club community?
Shoot, I've been riding since I was 16. From the little mini Ninja pocket bikes that they used to have to the dirt bikes. To my first motorcycle was a Hayabusa, and it was just the power to be able to do whatever I wanted to do. I mean, I've always had a need for speed to my Hondas, to my Fast and Furious, and then to the Hayabusa that just gave me the adrenaline to be free. You know, put that helmet on, turn my music on. Don't let the right music get on because I'm doing 120 through the highway, just enjoying life. That thrill, that wind blowing through your hair, you know, that through your sleeves, through your vest. And then, you know, finally seeing other motorcycle enthusiasts like myself. Like I said, I came on the set around 10 years ago. I was at my office doing what I'm doing, insurance, setting up accounts for people. And then I was, you know, I'm heavily involved in church as a youth minister since I was 17. So I have my own Christian club, you know, Team Faith had his own patch and everything. But it wasn't until other motorcycle clubs that I was setting their accounts up saw my vest hanging in my office. And, you know, they saw me pretty, you know, productive and, you know, well off doing financial services. And they were like, you ever thought about joining a club on set? And I was like, on set, like, you know, I see them all the time, but I never really dove into it. And then a couple of my best friends at my church were with Flaming Knights, and they started educating me on motorcycle culture because it's a culture. You just don't get a bike and start riding, and you know, it's a respect thing, and do your history. I tell a lot of people, do your history, do your homework. And once I did for about, you know, a year, you know, I started going out to events and seeing all of it. But what really drew my attention when I was the community service aspect. I'm big on that. And then one of the president who took me under my wing when I was with my old club, he said, you know, it'd be a good thing for you to help bridge that gap and bring, I don't want to say the good to the bad, how he said it, but it was just get the involvement with the clubs, because after reading the bylaws, you have to get back. And when I saw that, look, to me, it was ministry. I could be on a bike and be ministry at the same time. Let's do it. And so I dove in, jumped in, became the VP of my old club, and I pushed the community service aspect, the back to school events in the community, the food drives. One of my big thing that I really pushed when somebody in the community would pass and they couldn't afford the motorcycle brigade, I got a team of people from different clubs, my own club also, and we would come to the families and like, would you allow us to escort your son, daughter, mother, father, to their final burial place? Because if they couldn't afford it, and we would do that. We would block the streets, block the neighborhoods, and we would make sure that family brigade got to the final resting place. And to me, that meant a lot to be able to see the people's on the face, and say thank you so much. We couldn't afford it. It would have been a headache. And that's one of the biggest things I did. I mean, there was another event that would always stick out in my heart. It was a little kid. He was being chased on his bike in Southeast, and he crashed and hit a railing, landed into the trolley tracks, and died. And one of the kids came to us, and they were trying to do a ride for him from University all the way to Imperial. But they were like, how are we going to get there with the cars and all that? So a lot of us and motorcycle clubs got together, and we closed the whole lane for them so they can ride their bicycles in memory of their friend. And I thought that was huge for little kids to understand the importance of riding together, even though it was bicycles. And then we rolled up in 30 motorcycles, and we made a lane for them.
That's pretty cool.
That's probably will be my story that I always tell, till I die, is that the simple fact that the kids came up to us and was like, thank you. So they were so appreciative of their friend, and they were just appreciative of their bikes and how they cared about them like we care about our motorcycles. We wipe them down, we clean them, and to see these kids do the same thing with these bicycles and cherish them, and I looked at it like starting off at a young age, and they look at us with motorcycles that they want to get there, and they would say, oh, I can't wait to get old like you. And I was like, hold on, I ain't old, I'm young. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I got what they're saying. I can't wait to get older so I can get a motorcycle and I can ride and get back like you. And I think that's what a lot of kids and people look up to us, to the club members. I ride with Pacific Savages. I go to their events all the time. Why? Because I like the Ohana. I like the energy.
That's
I
right.
like, the vibe they give me, me being Apache, and then just, I like being around my people anyway. And it's a different vibe that they give. And that's why, I was glad when I was able to partner with them, with the Turning King in the club, and that just gave me another reason to come to their events, hang out, eat, you know what I mean? And just party with the guys. Cause
The food.
Yeah. The food. Yeah. Once again, but it's the same time, like you said, it's the fellowship.
Yes.
And I think a lot of people are drawn to that because it's hard already to find like-minded people. But I think it's something about these motorcycles that, I could park my bike, you park your bike. We don't have to say a word. We look at each other's bikes, we look at each other, we nod,
yeah,
and it's on from there. If we're drinking something, whatever it is, or eating, we're going to talk about motorcycle. Oh,
yeah.
Tell me your story. Where you been? Where you going? What kind of bike you got? What you put to it? And I think, right there, it stems that if we can write that down somewhere in a manuscript, I think that would bridge a lot of gaps in this motorcycle world. And I think a lot of time, like you said, it's healing. I mean, it's healing all the way. Because like I said, if I'm having a bad day and I want to jump on the Busa and just fly around San Diego, do a loop that I call it, and then get back home and then jump on the Harley and play my music, and just let everybody in the neighborhood hear, like Rob was saying, man, we're going to connect with him. But I think, like you said, it's very therapeutic in so many different ways that us as men go through so much. Not knocking the women because there's motorcycle clubs for women, but we're talking about the men right now. We need it.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I agree. Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's a big part of what we do that maybe we don't even talk about, right?
Yeah.
The fact that we need to have that time just for us to be able to hang out. Because I can't tell you, like, there's times where I'm like, my week's been just, rough work wise, but I know, man, we're doing the ride on Saturday. And my ass is going to be up at 5 a.m. And that night before, I can't even fucking sleep. Like, literally, like, I'm so excited because I know I'm going to be up. And I'm like, dude, you got to get some rest. You're going to be exhausted all day long. But I can't sleep because I'm like a little fucking kid. Like, I know I'm going to be up at 5 a.m. and I'm going to be mobbing all day long. And I just can't wait to get out there. And I feel like we do need that because, as men, we're expected to be, providers and workers. And we all know, like, owning a motorcycle is not an inexpensive hobby. This is like, you got to pay the bills, right? And so, I mean, there's a lot that we have to do to be able to play hard. And, for me, when I come home after a long day of riding, I always sleep better. And again, I have those memories to get me through to the next ride, right? Because, we all work, we all have things that we got to do. We got responsibilities, and that time out on the road, that fellowship that you're talking about. I mean, I think that's really an important part of what we do. And I think that's why a lot of brothers are drawn to this as well, because I feel like a lot of men, we don't really know how to talk to each other and, share maybe our feelings. But just being around positive energy, being around Ohana family, that's just going to heal you in and of itself, right? Being around that kind of positivity. And I think you definitely get that from the MC community. And that's not even talked about. That's not even something that we even talk about. It's always the bullshit in the media. It's always like, somebody does. We were just talking about this earlier, right? It's like maybe that one little incident that happened. That's what people end up talking about. But the charity work, being in the community, there's so much that MCs do and give back to the kids in numerous ways. Backpack drives, right? Just getting out there. I know the Pacific Savages, all the community work that y'all have done. There's just a lot that goes into this, and it's not just about obviously, loving your motorcycle and being out there riding. I mean, we're at the end of the day, we're a community organization, and we want to get out there and we want to give back, right? That's like a big important part of our mission. Really, I think that's something that kind of unites all motorcycle clubs, is that we have some kind of mission to give back. Like, yes, we want to be able to do what we do, but for us right here with the PSR, it's a chance for us to showcase our culture, to be able to bring our families together and be able to experience something that we could all take home with us. Be like, man, that was fun. That was a good memory made. Yeah. So the question I have, because this is something that honestly, I always tell people wherever I go, and I am not like some world traveler or anything, but I've been around the way a little bit. And it seems to me that the motorcycle club culture is a little bit different in every single region. So I want to know about San Diego area. So what is it like down here in the MC community?
For the most part, what I see in the MC community down here in San Diego, it's super open. I've seen clubs of all sorts show up to each other's events. And then I've seen clubs just never show up at all, to be honest with you. That's just the honest truth here. The motorcycle community, it's very cohesive here in San Diego. Like Twan was saying, like, he's brought together plenty of motorcycle clubs. He's seen us. He comes to our events. He supports our events a lot. So anybody from other clubs I've sat here and invited to, I know we have our 10-year anniversary that's coming up, and we're reaching out to everyone to show up. And there's a lot of love that's being shown out there. And I think a big thing for us is we show who we are, right? This is who Nakona is, what we're about. We show up, we're out there, we're on the road. We're going to places, and we show a lot of love. So when it came out to inviting people to our 10-year anniversary, all these other clubs, they're super excited. I mean, I know that we've thrown plenty of events down here, some real big ones. And it's funny because I'll go to some club event, some bike night or something, and someone's going to hit me up. It's like, hey man, when are you guys going to throw another Lumpia event? Like, we sell more than Lumpia. All right. What about the Locomocos? When are you guys going to do that again? But yeah,
I was one of those guys. I ate the Lumpia and I ate the Locomoco. I'm already waiting for the new one in July.
But they're always coming out to our events. So I mean, I think it's super cohesive down here in San Diego as far as motorcycle community. What do you think?
No, I agree. Every time we hit events, and it can be all the way down close to the border, San Diego, all the way up North County, you see pretty much the same club, same people. It's like, man, I feel like I just saw you yesterday, right? And it's always the same. The love is really reciprocal, right? You go to one event, I mean, they're gonna come back tenfold. It's like it's the respect is great, the support is great. It's a good two-way street, and You know, it's not that typical show up, you know, do your little donation for 20 minutes and dip. Like everyone actually kind of hangs out and talks to each other, right? I think it's really cool. I love it. It's good.
Anything you want to add to the? I know you know a lot of people obviously here in this area. You've been doing this for a long time, 10 years plus. So what can you tell us about the San Diego area and the MC community?
I know we don't like to ride in the rain. I'll tell you that right now. the 1 or 2 months we get. But as far as that, I mean, I think San Diego has the best riding weather thus far. And once this June gloom or bipolar weather gets its act right, you'll see a lot of more clubs out. I mean, there's a lot of events going this summer, and the culture, like you said, is phenomenal. We look for a reason to go to an event just to hang out and chill, enjoy, eat, drink, chill, listen to the music. I mean, like I said, I think that camaraderie is huge in San Diego. I love that about everything. I love how you can call somebody from any club or anywhere, and they'll come and support. Or even if anything, I mean, like I said, I had an incident the other day where 3 clubs are riding together, and I was able to get the call to come and play my role and to help out. And like I said, that's where that family comes together, and that culture in San Diego is that, a lot of times, we have each other's back. Good, bad, or ugly, we're going to talk about it later, but we got your back. And we're going to support you all the way. And I think that culture is strong here in San Diego. Like I said, it is open. It's kind of laid back, but at the same time, when we get together, we're partying. We're going to, like you said, we're going to make sure that weekend, that it's a long weekend, but we get it all out before the work week. And I think that's, if you can round that culture up in San Diego, that's pretty how it is. When that sun comes out, the bikes come out, and the clubs come out, and the events come out. And it's just that, I don't know. I live right here by the freeway, so when I hear the bikes coming to 125, at night, I get excited. I think me and my dog just listen to the, But yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm excited about this summer. I'm excited about the Savages their event this Saturday. I'm excited about the 10-year anniversary because I can't wait to be there.
Yeah. Can we tell us more about the 10-year anniversary? I mean, when's the date? You guys have a date on this, and how's the planning going for that?
Yeah. So the date for the 10-year anniversary is August 26th, the Saturday. It's gonna take place in Pacific Islander Brewery in Santee. We talked to owner's welcoming us. He's real excited. So we're getting to get all these vendors. But the key focus was, when we're getting these vendors, we wanted small local businesses, right? We wanted to not only promote them, right? Well, mainly promote them, but we were also making sure that each vendor didn't have anything that was selling similar, right? Because we didn't want any competition with anyone. We wanted everyone to come eat, right?
We want everybody to succeed, come out and feel like, man, I want to come back out and do this again.
Exactly. Yeah. And it was our way of thanking them. And it's a free event also. It's a way of thanking the community and thanking the vendors for coming, hanging out with us, and pretty much allowing us in their community for the past 10 years.
Man, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So why don't you tell us about the best riding areas? Is there a particular ride in the local area that a lot of people enjoy doing, or just the ride that guys like to do in the area?
I'm gonna say every one of my favorite rides ends in food. Old 94 is actually a really good one. I don't know if Barrett Junction Cafe is there anymore. Okay, so they have this like breakfast buffet you can get for like under $7.
Ooh,
you
very
do a
cool.
great ride. You get up there, pay your little $7, and you all you can eat breakfast. So that was one of the first rides that I've learned about here in San Diego. But there's tons of good rides, man. Sometimes just going up the coast, that the smell of sea air, smell of the Pacific, just nice and cool. No matter how hot the day is, you can ride down the coast, and it's gonna feel good.
Julian is a good one too.
And some pie.
Yeah, get some pie. End up at downtown Julian, right? Little twisties going up the mountain, but it's a nice ride because it's scenic, right? Like I said, you end up at Old Town Julian. It's one of kind of takes you back in time a little bit.
That's very cool. Nice. Yeah, I mean, I'm from an area where it's just freaking hot in the summertime. So the summertime is when you guys like to be out and about doing the good rides. Yeah.
Ride to Mexico, some good rides down there. Again, ends in food, great lobster for real cheap. I mean, I hate to say it, man,
I mean,
but
honestly, like you guys are in paradise. Do y'all know that?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
in comparison to where other people have to, some people can't even ride 6 months out of the year.
that's crazy.
You know, it really is. I mean, some people that have their bike on a tender for like, 4 months out of the year, they can't ride because of the weather. And you all can ride year round. You guys have probably some of the best weather in the world right here in San Diego. The best riding weather anyway.
And realistically, in San Diego, in riding, you can get almost anywhere in San Diego within like 20 minutes. I mean, I can get to Escondido, take 20 minutes from here.
That's how you ride. That's why.
No, but I mean that's a great thing about San Diego is like you can get anywhere. Like I mean, if you want to try to hit multiple events, because believe me, during the summer there's multiple events going on. You can get from downtown San Diego over to like East County in 20 minutes. Then from East County you can hit North County in another 20 minutes and zip back down to Imperial Beach, and that's going to take you like 20 minutes. So it makes it lovely because when everything's so close, but it's weird. I don't know, because they're all far.
Yeah.
But you can do all that in a single day. And like you said, it's like when you're mounting up in the morning, getting ready, and you get that anxiety at night, like, oh my God, it's like your first day of school.
Right. That's a perfect way of putting it. That's actually a perfect way of describing it.
Getting ready for a weekend, it's like your first day of school. You get up, you're tired because you didn't sleep. You drink your coffee, go to meet up with everybody, and you hear the you hear the plan of where we're riding to, how we're going to get to. I mean, the fact that we're so close to other cities like Orange County and Inland Empire, like, I mean, we just hit one of our Usos events yesterday, and it was literally a quick zip up there and a quick zip back, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, and what I like to see is, for me, it's been a really nice weekend because I've been able to kind of experience the SoCal Pacific Savage, culture, and it's just, it's really laid back here, and I just, obviously you guys all support each other, and I was telling Chino, man, we were talking yesterday. I'm like, man, I said, I'm bringing my guys down. We're coming down. We're gonna come down here. We're gonna visit every single tribe. We're gonna do some rides down here. So. I mean, obviously, you guys have great riding weather, and you have something really positive going on here. And if people want to reach out to the Pacific Savages in the SoCal area, what's the best way to go about that?
IG?
Yeah, our well, at least Nakohema's IG. You can find us on Instagram. It's at Nakohema. I don't know, spell it phonetically, right? Nakoahema.
Yeah,
I think I spelled that right.
Yeah. And if people want to go for a ride with you all, is that possible for people to join you and like message you guys, say, hey, is it possible to go for a ride? How does that work for you guys?
Oh yeah. It happens all the time, actually. That's how we got Goose. One of our members, he slid into my DM and said, hey, what's up with you guys? And I said, what's up with you, man? And then invite him. He's like, I want to ride and want to check you guys out, So anyone that wants to ride with us is always welcome to. You're not going to be pressured to try to join or do anything where you're not pressured to ride within our pack or ride past your ability, right? We want everyone to go home. Even though I don't know you, I don't want that. We're not going to put yourself in a risk, right?
Yeah.
Beyond your ability. So anyone that wants to ride, hit up our IG, or if I happen to know somebody, let us know. Everyone's always welcome to ride with us.
Yeah, absolutely. And anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, fair warning though, it's contagious, man. Anybody that's gone out with the ride with us, they continue to want to ride with us. I mean, we have a lot of fun, and then when you watch what we do and how we interact, that brotherhood that we have with each other, people want to become part of that. And even if they don't officially become part of that, I mean, we have people who still ride with us till this day who just never wanted to make that commitment, but love what we're doing and want to support that. And they come out to our rides. We have a New Year's ride every year. And I want to say there's at least 5 to 10 individuals who never really had the commitment to get into a motorcycle club, but they're making that New Year's ride because they want to come out and they want to start their year. They want to start their year off with that kind of camaraderie and that kind of,
Man, that's a big one you guys do. I saw that on social media, this the past one that you guys did, and I'm gonna have to make one of those. Yeah.
It was pouring rain too that day on New Year's, and then we had one of our guys come. He's like, you guys still gonna ride? I'm like, yeah, we do it every year, rain or shine.
Yeah,
we're doing this ride. It's the best way to bring the new year in on Tuesday.
Absolutely. And what about your club? How can people reach out to you?
You can look on our IG, Above Average MC SD. or above average MC. Is on IG. You can look at our events. Matter of fact, we have our annual coming up next month, July 7th and 8th. Well, Friday night we'll have our meet and greet at the Four Horsemen. Flyer will be out this week, and then Saturday day party will be at San Diego Harley, and then our night annual dance will be at Diamond Gyms in Chula Vista. So inviting all the Pacific Savages out and all the other clubs that want to come out. Look at our IG. You'll see our flyer. We're gonna have a lot of fun. We're gonna have food, games, raffle. It's family friendly, so it's everything. So just come on out and have some fun that day with Above Average MC. This will be our 7th year. So we're going for it.
I love it. I love it. Well, obviously you guys are doing something right down here in SoCal. And I really do appreciate you guys spending the time with me here at the 7th Generation Podcast. I think we did a really good job of promoting the PSR. I definitely want to thank Puna. I know Puna, she was taking pictures here. She's right around the corner. I want to thank Puna for helping, put this series of podcasts together. I mean, for me to be able to sit down with all three of you and to, share some time and to let you guys talk about your organizations and what you do. I think it's really important because there's so many people out there that have misconceptions about motorcycle clubs and really don't understand what we do. And I think that if people listen to this, right, they're going to have a better idea of, just how cool it is to be in a motorcycle club and what you can get from it. And the fact that, motorcycle clubs are probably a little bit more open and willing to talk than people think. There's certain things that we don't talk about. This is true. But when it comes to, our passion for motorcycles or just having a good time, definitely eating good food, the passion for the ride and being on two wheels, having a good time, sharing our culture, it's a big part of what we do. So I want everybody who's listening to this, if you're in the SoCal area and you want to know more about the Pacific Savages, reach out to them. They're more than willing to share what they do. And then, of course, we want you out June 17th, the Pacific Sovereignty Run, Saturday, 6 days from now. Puna, can you believe that? 6 days? It's going down here at the Elks Lodge, 7212 Melrose Street, 12 noon to 5 p.m. It's going to be a bike blessing, kava ceremony, MC War Games. It's a free event, live music, live performances. We're talking about one of the better events in the SoCal area. If you want to learn more about Asian Pacific Islander indigenous culture and how that plays out in California, the PSR is the event to go to. Anything else we want to add, gentlemen? Anything?
I'm good. Thank you for having us.
Absolutely.
I'm good, man. If you guys want to know more if you want to meet a Sav, come to our event.
That's
Guaranteed
right.
You're going to find a place.
Yes. You want to meet a Sav, come out to the PSR. And let me tell you, the brothers are all open. If you see the patch, go up and talk to them. Introduce yourself, and I'll say that really about all motorcycle clubs. If you see a motorcycle club and you want to know more about their patch or what they do, just go up and ask. Some of the guys on two may look a little scary. Nobody in this group, of course, right here. But yeah, I mean, I feel like, we want people to come up and ask. And I always appreciate it when somebody says, hey, do I mind if I ask you about, your club? I think it's better for all of us to be able to tell people who we are as opposed to other people who know nothing about the MC culture, telling the story of what we're all about. So we're going to end the show. Again, I want to say thank you to Attorney King, right? Big shout out to them right here. And I got me a gift today. It's a motorcycle charger. Attorney King, car, motorcycle, injury lawyers. I'm gonna put the number out there, 619-333-3333, attorneyking.com. And so big shout out to them. If you want to get your insurance right, you need to do that as well. And, if there's ever an issue and you want some good advice, contact the Attorney King. We were talking a lot about getting our insurance right. And I think that's what I'm going to do when I get home this week. I'm going to make sure I got my insurance right. So with that being said, get our outro music going. All right, you all. This is 7th Generation Podcast. Don't forget to reach out to me on Instagram if you have any questions. And don't forget, June 17th, PSR, 12 noon, the Elks Lodge, 7212 Melrose Street, Winter Park, California. It starts at 12 noon. Until next time, peace. It's about the passion for the ride. Woo, that was good, man. That was good.